Hey guys and girls, welcome to English class. Hope you enjoyed learning about Easter today. What we're doing for today and what we're doing for the rest of the week is going to look very different from what you have been doing for the other past 2 weeks. You're still reading Ruby Holler. You're still writing in your RHWA document, your Ruby Holler written answers document, but the way that you're doing that is going to be stretched over a couple of days. So let's go. Let me show you what's happening on GradeLink, and then I'll bring myself back to full screen after we look over some stuff. So as you can see right here, you are going to be reading chapters 43 through 56 of Ruby Holler today. And of course, that seems like a lot because, well, it is, but you have to remember, even though that's a large number of chapters in Ruby Holler are incredibly small. And at least in my copy of the book, they rarely go over the length of 6 pages. And in your book, they rarely go over the length of like 3 or 4, I think, because your text is so much smaller than mine. So basically, you're going to read through those chapters, and then then this is your RHWA entry here. So for this particular entry, I want you to try something different. I simply want you to respond to these particular chapters. And what I mean by that is these chapters, or at least to me, when I first read the book, I got to chapter 43, and I did not stop reading the book until I finished it. There's just something about this point where, there's these multiple plot lines just really start to get really more intense, and it's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? And so you're, going down the river with Tiller in Florida, and then, Dallas and Sari are trying to, they're practicing their bird hunting and everything, and then they, something, and then Z's doing all of his stuff, and I almost gave stuff away, so trying really hard not to do that. But and the Trepids are off doing who knows what at this point, and so you've got all this different stuff going all over the place, and it just keeps getting ramped up. It keeps getting ramped up. It keeps getting ramped up. And so I want to try to emulate or copy that experience, not copy that, but give you guys the opportunity to experience that all your own. And that's why you're reading such a big chunk in one time. And I tried to pick a cutoff point where it makes sense, but I know some of you, and you're going to get to that point where it's cut off for today, and you're going to want to keep reading. And if you want to do that, that's fine, but just make sure that you focus your response to those particular chapters. So I would recommend if you do, or if you are going to keep reading on to the end of it from here, I would put like a bookmark or something at the end of chapter 56, just so you know where the cutoff is. So you can go back and look at, starting at chapter 43 and going from there. So that's what you're going to do for today. And then starting on Thursday, you're basically going to do the same thing. Before I get ahead of myself, let's go back over to GradeLink and let me show you what I want you to do with the RHWA. So if you want to pause the video real quick and go ahead and open up your RHWA Google Doc, go ahead and do that right now. Pause the video and do that right now. Okay, so if you've gotten that up, that's great. What you can do is I have put your prompts down here. So all you need to do for the entire week and getting this stuff in here is you just need to highlight this stuff and then copy it, and then you can go over to your RHWA and then just paste it in and go, oops, I'm on a Mac, I have to do Command V. And then you just paste it in, and then you can, play with your font and whatever and all that stuff. I'm a big fan of this Alice one, so I would do that. So basically what you would do after that is you would just hit enter a few times, and then you need to start writing your answer here. So you need to hit the tab button and just, start writing your answer right below that, okay, wherever that ends up. And then you can do the same thing when you get to this one here. So basically, when I ask you to respond to chapters, what I mean is a few things. Number one, a response is not a summary. Let me say that again. A response is not a summary. I am not asking you under any circumstances to summarize the events of chapters 43 through 56. You know what happened in them. I know what happened in them. When I ask you to respond to something, you're not summarizing. But what you are doing, which brings me to my second point, is that you are telling or writing what you felt, how you reacted to things. And then through that reaction, that leads you to your third thing, which is your analysis of why you reacted that way. Okay, what is it about these particular chapters that make you react a certain way? Do they make you feel a certain way towards a certain character? Do they make you care about a certain character's story more so than the other characters, and you're just reading through to get back to the other character? You know, what is it about these particular chapters that makes you want to, or that, is so compelling and so interesting? And again, I know that it's not going to be as interesting to all of you, but you at least need to try to get into it, because this is the good stuff of this book. This is what it's all been building up to. All this backstory on Dallas and Florida, and all this junk they've had to go through in their lives, and all these trials, and all this like new getting acclimated to Tiller and Ceres lives. It's all come up to this, and so it's getting real, and this is a very real part of the book. It's not to say that it's going to get dark or anything, because it's not. But this is just where things get really interesting and things really ramp up. And the intrigue goes through the roof, or at least it does for me, and I hope it does for you as well. Because like I said, this is one of the best stories I've ever read, and I still remember it vividly as I read it the first time. So that's what I mean by responding. So if you guys want to write this down, I would recommend that. So 3 points on responses. Again, number 1, no summary. Number 2, you are writing about your reactions to the text. So no summary, reactions. Number 3, your analysis of those reactions. This is where you can bring in, particular quotes, particular evidences, particular pieces of evidence, what I meant to say, from the text, and, use that to further your points. And I would highly recommend actually drawing upon evidence to prove this, to show this is why I reacted. When I read this, put in the quote, I reacted this way because of what Creech is doing in this by writing it this way. That's pretty much what a clear-cut reading response would be. And you guys have done similar things to this before, and you've gotten used to this, or we've at least done this before, so this shouldn't be all that new to you, but you're pretty much on your own. And so that's why I just want to go over this again. So make sure you've got those 3 things down. You're not summarizing, you're explaining your reactions, and then you are analyzing why you reacted that way, okay? So I'll leave you guys to that, and that's basically what you'll be doing for today. Now, moving forward a little bit, if you go back to GradeLink, you'll also see that for Thursday and Friday, you're basically doing the same thing again. You will finish the book between Thursday and Friday. So you're to read chapters 57 through 66 on Friday, or on Thursday and Friday. And then you have another entry right there where you're just going to respond to the ending of the novel and give some honest thoughts about it. Now, I've included a lot of questions in there to, stroke your thinking and, spark your thinking and that kind of stuff. And you can use those as you can. Just know that there's only one part of that in the actual prompt that you've copy and pasted. So here's the thing about Friday. We are going to have a Zoom meeting at 12:30 p.m. to discuss the ending of the book and its overall message. So basically what you need to do is you need to come prepared with your own opinions and thoughts on what you think the entire book might be about. So this discussion will be graded, and it will be based upon participation. So if you have a Zoom meeting at 12:30 p.m. on Friday, that should tell you that even though you have between Thursday and Friday to read the book, you should have at least your reading finished by 12:30 on Friday. You do not have to have your entry for your RHWA finished, but you do need to have the reading finished by 12:30 p.m. on Friday. So if you guys can do that, we'll have a great discussion. I'm really looking forward to what your thoughts are on the novel and what you guys thought about it overall. I will send out the Zoom information invites over our Google Hangout, and then that information will come out. If we're having it at 12:30, I will probably send out the information around 12:15, and you guys can just, or around 12:15, 12:20, and then you guys can just hop on as we all get to that, and we'll leave it at that. So I know that was a lot. So if you have any questions or if things didn't make sense, just back up the video, and I'm sure that you'll be able to find what you need. But of course, if you still have trouble after that, then send me a message over Hangouts or email or anything like that. I'm looking forward to what your thoughts are going to be on the end of this. But yeah, we're going to finish it this week. We're going to finish Ruby Holler this week, and it'll be great. And then we will move on to other things that we're going to do with the novel, and then move on to something else. And that'll be that. So looking forward to what you guys have to say about it, and really looking forward to reading these entries and these responses. And I will leave it at that. Happy reading and happy writing.